Hey everybody, how you doing? Welcome back to Cloak and Stagger. I am Moose, and tonight is a very special night because we're starting a brand new campaign. Icewind Dale, rhyme with Frost Maiden. Let me get it. The book. Ooh ah. Ooh ah.
Ooh ah.
So I hope everybody's having a great evening. It's been an intense week, so we're gonna take this time to just kind of decompress and play a little D&D, ignore what's going on everywhere else. Whether you're happy, you're sad, we're glad you're here. Yeah, you tell them.
Oh.
You tell them. So we are starting Icewind Dale tonight, and I kind of don't know what to do with my hands every time I start a new campaign. So I hope you all enjoy our dive into the frozen north, because it is going to be, I think, fun. I think we'll have a good time. Maybe, well, I'll have a good time. I don't know about y'all. I might torture the fuck out of you.
I'm having a great time.
This is gonna be my vengeance for Monday night, Shadow of the Demon Lord.
I got 7 health. Just look at me weird. I'll fall over, okay?
That's true. That's true.
I'm hoping we can all chill together.
Hey. Cheers.
Because it's cold where we are.
So, before we get started, I just want to thank everybody for the phenomenal month you guys gave us and all the support you gave us last month. Who's coming in here? Mike Boy 87.
Hey, my
dude,
boy.
it's good to see you. It's good to
What up,
see
Mike?
you. Oh, welcome to the celebration. We had a fantastic month last month with you guys supporting the channel, and again, that allows us to keep bringing hopefully good content to you guys. So we appreciate that. Me and Stubbs also ate our spicy chip. I did it twice. So that was
I don't
fun.
know if you can
How
get
are your
enough subs
insides?
for me to do it twice.
How do you feel in here?
Dude, look, I kind of felt like Sean Evans a little bit. Like, you just got the second time, it's like, all right, I've been here. It's a mountain, but I've climbed it before. So, that being said, does anybody have anything they want to say, announce, do, dance, sing, anything before we start? Anything to delay this, because I'm nervous?
It's a celebration in America today.
I really like the number 290.
Why?
290 is my new favorite number right now.
Why do you like
290
290?
is a great number.
Because it's bigger than 214.
God dang it. All right, we're gonna stay away from politics tonight. At least from real world politics tonight, because there might be some political shenanigans going on here. Also, since this is a fresh stream, if any audio or anything sounds weird on the stream to anybody, if you would please let me know, because I'll be kicking myself when I watch the VOD later and something's all jacked up. So if you notice something, say something, and feel free to interact with us in the chat. We've got I think a few of us in the chat right now. So that being said, let's begin. Yeah, we good?
Yes.
Your sister's trying to FaceTime me.
Tell
Well,
her no.
it's not a good time.
No. Tell Meredith to join us on Twitch.
Yeah.
Yes.
Send her
Yes,
the
yes.
email. Mike Boy, thank you. Thank you for the biddies, sir. I missed you. All right. Take a sip of my drink here, and then
Is it a cold sip?
it is very frosty. And we'll give. She's calling me now. We'll give the background of this of what's going on here. What's going on with Icewind Dale? Icewind Dale has become trapped in a perpetual winter. Ferocious blizzards make the mountain pass through the spine of the world exceedingly treacherous, and this land has not felt the warmth of the sun in over 2 years. In fact, the sun no longer appears above the mountains at all, not even what should be the height of summer. In this frozen tundra, darkness and bitter cold reign as king and queen. Most Dale residents blame Ariel, the Frost Maiden, the god of winter's wrath. The shimmering aurora that weaves across the sky each night is said to be her doing, a potent spell that keeps the sun at bay. Dale folk live in a scattering of settlements known as 10 towns. The drop-off in caravans coming from the south and travel between the settlements in this never-ending winter has left everyone feeling isolated. Although each town has resolved to appease the Frost Maiden with sacrifices of one kind or another, no respite from the winter's fury seems forthcoming. For adventurers such as yourselves, 10 Towns is a place to test one's mettle, and in the spirit of heroes who have come before, leave one's mark on this frigid, blighted land. Now, one way, let me go back over here. There we go. One way or another, each of you have found your way to the settlement of Bryn Shander. It's the first stop for most visitors to Icewind Dale. The town has high walls and is perched atop a cold, lonely, wind-lashed hill. Bright lanterns suspended over narrow streets twist in the wind and add flecks of color to the town's otherwise drab surroundings. The friendliness of this settlement has dwindled of late, though. The unyielding winter has greatly reduced the number of visitors to the town, and the local trade is suffering for it, eating away at the locals' sense of humor and goodwill. Still, you know that there is no safer place in Icewind Dale to spend coin or spend the night. Regardless, each town has adopted their own offerings to try and appease Ariel, the Frost Maiden, and bring an end to this horrible winter. Some towns offer food, some their warmth and fire. A small few offer living sacrifices. Duvessa Shane, although relatively young, is the speaker of Bryn Shander and the head of the Council of Speakers. She is set to officiate the lottery of the new moon tonight, sacrificing one randomly selected villager from the town to try and appease the Frost Maiden. Residents of 10 Towns tend to remain indoors when they're not working, since it's so frightfully cold outside, which gives each settlement a deathly quiet aspect. Most people who venture outdoors are bundled up in so much cold weather clothing as to barely be recognizable. They don't stand around long enough for the cold wind to get the better of them. The people of 10 Towns wear layers of woolen clothing, often topped with fur cloaks. Under these heavy clothes and cloaks, one resident looks very much the same as the other. Outdoors, it's hard to tell people of 10 Towns apart, and easy for clever monsters to hide in their midst. Now, for the lot of you, you sit in the Northlook Inn. You hear a lot of the familiar rumors. Ariel preventing the sun from ever rising in Icewind Dale. The lottery being fixed. It's a hoax. And various other tales from other towns around the Dale. One of the newer and more concerning rumors is that there have been 2 murders in nearby towns over the past month. One in East Haven and another in Targos. Supposedly stabbed with a dagger of ice through the heart. As the little bit of illumination that the twilight provides from 10 to 4 begins to kind of fade outside, the Northlook seems to be getting a bit busier and busier. The crowd noise picking up, and a small gnome running around to various tables, using a mage hand spell to help serve food and drinks. And this little gnome, what might his name be? and tell us a little about him.
This little gnome's name is Wilzu Snapplegap. I suppose, should I describe what I look like or why I'm here?
Whatever you want to disclose, you may disclose.
Very well. Currently, I'm inside the Northluck Inn. I have struck a deal with the innkeep here. It's a mutual exchange. I can stay here as long as I entertain the folks around me, without any issues whatsoever, which I don't cause. I'm not an issue causer, like someone else I'm not going to mention right now. I have light brown hair, a pointed light brown beard, just curled a little bit at the bottom. I am quite short, even for a gnome. A little shorter than you'd expect. And I'm wearing just about the same outfit you'd see almost everyone else in this town wear. Thick furs and leathers of a dark brown coloration, because it's cold as tits.
That it is. As you are rushing about and trying to get people their food and their drink, as Scramsax yells at you from across the bar, "Don't forget table 3! They've been waiting for quite a while! Will do!"
Right. No, I'm hustling over there.
So as you hustle around, you notice sitting at the bar is a large, actually something that you haven't really seen a lot of, and that really most people don't see a lot of, but there's a large Goliath sitting at the bar, and he just seems ever so intrigued with you and your spells waving around. And why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, Mr. Goliath sitting at the bar?
Well, my name is Sandy Ravage, and if you don't know me already, there's something wrong with you. I stand at 8'3", and I am a wrestling god. I, after long travel, find myself here and just wanting to sit and drink an ale and not have all of the women and men just gazing over me. And I also can't see other than about a 4-foot radius around me on Roll20, but that's unrelated.
Right now you can't?
No.
Okay. I will fix that momentarily. Very good. So, Mr. Ravage, as you're looking around the room, you kind of glance every now and again just around. You're mainly focused on Wilzu, but you see a couple of other people in the tavern itself. One of which is you see a dwarf kind of sitting behind you. There's a scraggly man sitting across from her next to the fireplace in the corner. A tiefling sits over at a table who, up until just a little bit ago, had another half-elf sitting across from her, but who had gotten up and left. And every so often you look over in the corner and there's a pale elf sitting over there. Wilzu, you notice that this elf seems to be eyeing you, but every time you kind of look over and catch him looking at you, he kind of darts away his eyes. But definitely it seems like he's watching you as though not a lot of magic kind of goes on around here. But also very intrigued by also the Goliath sitting at the bar. So Mr. Elf in the corner, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, maybe. Once I get some wine, I can relax in this terrible place. My name is Aramil. Yes, Aramil, that's how it's pronounced. Aramil. I won't say it again. Aramil. But I did. I digress. Yes. I am alabaster skin. I have pale skin, green with gold flakes, male, light brown hair, about 5'7", very slim build. But I prefer, a little bit nicer things in life. Nothing wrong with that. I'm enamored by this brooding man over here. His persona ekes out of him. The man of importance. Nothing else catches my eye here, except for the lack of alcohol that I have.
Are you making a little bit of a scene about the lack of alcohol?
I'm just kind of like...
Scramsax looks over at you and sees you holding out your hand and yells out, Wilzu! Wilzu! I told you, take care of the elf in the corner!
Yeah, yes, yes.
Another wine for him!
I'm hustling to the bar right now to grab a... I don't even go ask what kind of wine he wants. I just literally grab a wine from behind the bar and pour a glass.
I have a bow and quiver by my side.
By the way, you all should be able to move your characters around here.
This will do.
There you go. Wilzu, as you're taking this wine to Aramil, something catches your eye. The tiefling that you just walked by, sitting at the table, she has some sort of strange lantern sitting on the table in front of her. One that she didn't have when she came in. Perhaps the cat brought it in when it jumped. Dude, we're getting harassed by animals tonight. But you do take note of this lantern because it does seem to have some sort of magic aura about it, but you're not exactly quite sure what's going on. You just sense it in passing as you make your way to the corner. Speaking of the tiefling, Miss Tiefling in the chair with the lantern. Why don't you tell us who you are?
Hello, darling. My name is Lucinda, but most people just call me Sin. I am about 5'7". You know, I guess you could say I'm average. I have beautiful long brown hair, a light purple complexion. It looks very nice. I have solid black eyes.
Shark's eyes.
Yes, and you know, that's really all that you need to know about me right now. I am a cleric, but I am also a trickster cleric. So there's that.
You like to play the tricks on people, yeah?
I do, yes, it's very fun. I love it.
Okay, well, Wilzu, you make your way over to Aramil.
I'm
Go ahead.
hustling up to him. Yes, you, and I'm just pointing at his hand, and then a mage hand comes out above my hand that's also pointing at his empty hand. That hand needs one of these, I believe. I hold up a glass of wine.
Do you do it with your real hand or your mage hand?
My real hand has the wine right now.
This will do. Is there any finer vintage, or is this what you have?
Well, you know, as where we are, this okay, it's the best we have. I'll just level with you, okay?
This better be cheap.
Yes, absolutely. It is cheap. And I'm gonna turn and kind of survey the tavern for a moment.
Okay.
My internal excitement is like building because I see all these new people, and I really want to start getting them together. You know what I mean? I really want to get a group to do what I want to do. So I surveying that and looking and kind of bouncing a little bit and turning back to the elf. So,
Little boy, what's your name?
Well, I'm actually not a boy at all. I'm a gnome. I'm Wilzu Snapplegap. Pleasure to meet you, Mr.
Aramil.
Aramil. Yes, Aramil. What? And I'll just waddle over to the chair across from him, and I'll just sit right at his table while he's drinking.
My apologies for the perceived racism. It's the the clothes. Everything looks the same.
Would you see a lot of gnomes here, DM, or am I kind of weird?
You seem a little out of place, but the settlements of Tin Towns all kind of have their fair share of, abnormal. I'd say that the average Tin Town resident would not be shocked to see really anything, because this type of place really brings people who are trying to escape from the rest of the world or just trying to go out and adventure. So it's not completely out of the ordinary to see a gnome or a Goliath, even though Goliaths are very, very rare.
Okay. With that knowledge in tow, I will, to his sentence about racism, simply respond, "Oh, it's quite all right. I'm, shorter in stature, and there's a few of us around, but not too common, so it's good. Whatever's."
I'm from the south, so it's easier to identify, in different than. So I do apologize.
I'm from the south as well. A small village outside of Candlekeep, actually.
Ah, yes.
So, Aramil, was it? Aramil?
Yes, Aramil.
What brings
And you are, sorry.
Oh, Wilzu Snapplegap. Yes, Wilzu Snapplegap.
Wilzu.
Actually, magician of sorts. And as I do this, I'll have a third hand in front of me as my hands are out to the side. And I'll have prestidigitation, like just sparkling rainbow colors out of the mage hand.
You should charge for that.
Well, we sort of do. I do my thing, and it brings in folks such as yourself to enjoy the festivities and the tavern environment.
Yes,
But that's
indeed.
none of that's too important. What is curious is, and I'll turn and kind of glance at the Goliath behind me as well, because I'm getting the same vibe from him.
I'll look over too.
Every time I've looked over here, you seem to be watching some of my spectacles. Are you a proprietor of magic by chance?
No, but I can spot, how do I say this? Persons of intrigue. Like that person over there. And I point to the bar.
Yes, I actually plan on talking to him next once I'm done talking with you, but that's not important. So, without prying too hard, what brings you to the north?
Just looking for a fresh start, if you will.
And my eyes light up hearing that as I start bouncing my seat a little bit. Is that so? Well, that's wonderful. That's a fresh start. This is the perfect place to come. So,
You seem very excited. Are you trying to sell me a timeshare?
no. Actually, I was hoping to start a small adventuring group. Intriguing, yes?
You've piqued my interest. What do you have in mind?
Well, there's a few rumors going around I suppose we could look into, but the main thing is looking for more magics, more of this. As I'm using prestidigitation again just to make like small animals appear in my hand and just kind of make them move around, really, really tiny.
That is very impressive.
This is neat and all, but need something a little bit better. I have a brother who's a bit of a... Well, I'll level with you again. He's a bit of a dick. And he's acquired a lot of capabilities recently that I'm sort of lacking in, so I was hoping to maybe catch up to him. But to do that, I need to find more magic, more relics, more artifacts.
Sucinda, make a perception check for me.
Okay, darling.
Sucinda, you overhear the word magic and relics sort of echo across the room.
I'm not being quiet at all about this.
Yeah, and you can kind of look back and pinpoint that it's coming from this little gnome who's just shouting at this point about magic and adventure.
Well, you have my attention. It's been nothing but odd jobs since I've been here. Not exactly what I came here for, but Much better than what got me here. I don't want to talk about it. Don't ask.
Fair enough. I won't pry. I just need to know, are you
It was
interested?
terrible. Let me just start. No, we don't have the time. We don't have the time. Let's. Sorry. Continues.
Right. So you are interested in this idea, though, yes?
Yes, steady work. Sounds good to me.
Excellent. You enjoy your drink. I look around the tavern again.
You
I
catch
need-
Before you go.
Scramsax looking right at you. Wilzu,
Before-
we had a deal. You were to work here, not just fraternize with the patrons.
Yes. One more thing. What was it?
I'll say loudly, I would love another glass of wine. I yell. And then quietly I say, will there be money that we get from this, yes?
Yes. Eventually.
Do I believe that?
I don't know. I'm not
As-
convincing at all. I'm saying that.
As you say that, there's a large and those of you who've been here, actually all of you now would know what this is. There's a large knucklehead trout mounted up on a plaque. The knucklehead trout, you know, is the main source of fish, and they're huge. They can be up to 6 feet long, 70 pounds of just pure, just fish mass. But there's one mounted up on a plaque that has the name Old Bitey inscribed underneath it. And as you're kind of finishing, as you're in this mid-conversation, Old Bitey, his front half flips out and is looking towards the room, and you see it open its mouth and start to sing, "There's a place I like to go, farther up the river's flow. Where it is I do not know, must be under all that snow," and then flip back and go dormant again.
Oh, what's that bass that talked?
Billy the Big Mouth
Billy
Bass.
the Big Mouth Bass.
Oh, that was Old Bitey.
Sucinda, you're
Twice.
very happy when that happened.
I am.
Wait, well, on that wine,
Oh, yes. Give me just a moment. I will return.
but I'm
I,
in on your group as long as it's money. I mean, yes.
I hastily go back to the bar, or I guess behind it, to snatch 2 glasses, actually, of wine this time, because I have ulterior motives.
Scramsax walks up to you. Wilzu, look, you're doing great, but here, I need you to do me a favor. At some point, I ordered some more glasses. I need you to go to Belron's shop and check on my order. Just at some point before the night's over, possibly when we die down, I need you to go check on that for me. Can you do that? Can you please do that?
Absolutely. And I may have some assistance with it as well.
Good. And he walks back and just sort of stands at the bar. Sucinda, he yells over to you, "Ma'am, I see your glass is empty. Do you need a refill?"
Darling, I always need a refill, please. Come on.
Wilzu!
I'm
Table 7!
in progress, sir. This gentleman here ordered one as well. I'll step to the side of the large Goliath and hop up on the stool as best I can, holding 2 wines. Set one down in front of me and hold the other one up to him. You ordered this, correct, sir?
I'm gonna kind of whip around, and then kind of sit back down like I didn't see him.
Down here with your wine.
Sure. Oh, sorry, little one. I didn't see you there. You want my autograph? I'm sure you do. I'll kind of try to write it down for him and hand it to him. There you go.
Okay. I'll read it. I guess it says Sandy Ravage on it.
Sort of. I'm not very good at writing.
Right. Mr. Sandy? Send.
Close enough, and I pat him on the back, hopefully hard enough to knock him forward a little bit.
Darling, there's a creature that has to go outside, so I'll pretend like I'm going to the restroom too.
Okay, you see Sucinda get up and actually walk through the door, or this tiefling rather, to you.
Come on. Let's go.
Right. So you are a man of importance, it seems.
Absolutely. Everyone knows me. Even you, if you don't think you do.
Because you've done great feats.
Well, I mean, I was once a great wrestling champion. You should know.
Well, yes. Yes, you were a great wrestling champion, which is precisely why we're having this conversation now. So, what brings you to the Northlook Inn tonight?
Oh, some ale. That's about it. Kind of got out and about. Saw the tavern was open and figured I could use a drink.
I think, indeed, you could use something a little more. Perhaps an adventure?
Would this adventure bring me fame and fortune?
I just lean back and ponder for a bit and think, well, if we gather a bunch of magic and we had relics and whatnot, well, surely that... And then my eyes go wide. Yes! Absolutely!
Well, sign me up, little one. I'll do anything for some fame and fortune.
Terrific! And I'll reach my hand up like I want to pat his shoulder, but he's like stories ahead, taller than me. So I'm going to reach hand and I'll pat him with that. Snapplegap's the name. And now that I know you're interested, hang tight, because there's one more. And I'll look for that tiefling with the lantern I saw.
You turn around and you don't see the tiefling, but you see the lantern that she left on the table.
And seeing that she's not there, but the lantern's there, I quickly I'm hastily glancing in Scramsack's direction. Is he paying attention to me at all right now?
He has actually walked in the back room. He's not at the bar currently.
Oh, perfect. Now I'll hop down and I'll head over to the table where the lantern is.
Okay.
You know what? I want to look it over. I'm not going to touch it, though. I'm going to kind of get up on the table and lean over it and look.
What are you trying to glean from it?
I felt something unique about it other than just like providing a light source, so I want to see if I detect any magic properties on it.
Make an Arcana check for me. It's hard to say. Looking at this thing, it looks kind of like a standard lantern, but very well made, made out of some sort of metal, and it encases a blue candle inside of it. And you still sense that kind of magic aura emanating off of it, but you're not able to determine exactly what it would be used for. And you can only imagine that whoever left it sitting there probably wouldn't leave it there for long, unattended.
I'll send a message to
Sucinda, I put you in the outhouse outside.
I'm running back because I just heard that someone was fucking with my lantern.
You should be able to move your character.
Welzu. You should leave that lamp alone. It's not yours.
I start glancing around the tavern until finally I lock eyes with Aaron.
I'm doing this.
And I kind of tilt my head at him a bit.
It won't let me leave.
Oh, here, I got you.
Just a little trick.
All right, go ahead.
I'm
Continue.
kind of. I thought I thought Sucinda was about the bargeon, but I guess she's still pottying. So I look at him I look at Aramir and tilt my head a little bit, and then I look back at the lantern and lean a little closer to it, to where my nose is next to it.
Better not smudge it.
Sucinda, you walk in and you see this little gnome waiter with an apron on, just leaned up right against your lantern.
Since he's so much shorter than me, I imagine at least, I'm gonna tap on his shoulder and just like, darling, if you wanted to see it, you could have just asked me. I don't know who you think you are, just going around rummaging through people's things.
That is a fine statement because I can follow it up with, I am Wilzu Snapplegap, here to serve and help you. Would you like a drink? Oh, crap. One moment, and I hastily go back to the bar.
You turn around, you see Scram Sacks just eyeing you down.
I grab the wine I set in front of me, in front of Randy, or next to Randy Savage, or Sandy Ravage.
Sandy Ravage.
And I hastily go back to here, and I hold it up.
Wilzu, was it? I don't want his wine. I want my own wine.
No, that wasn't his wine. He has his own wine over there. I had gotten two. One was for...
Is there a problem here, ma'am?
No,
As Scram Sacks leans over the counter.
Oh, it's fine. I guess it's all right.
Fair enough.
Wilzu, was it? Thank you. And I move my lantern closer to me. And I also take the cuff of my shirt and wipe the surroundings of my glass. Like, I don't know if I trust him, but I also don't want to get him in trouble, so...
and I'll kind of turn and look at Scram Sacks again for a moment, and then hastily back to the tiefling in front of me. If you don't mind me asking, what's your name?
Oh, my name is Sucinda. Most people call me Sin, though.
Sin. Okay, okay, Sin. We won't comment on that and say that's a lovely name. It's a pleasure to meet you, Sin. If you don't mind, and I'll pull up a chair and then just sit across from her like I'm supposed to be there again, and I'll say, so what? Not to pry, but I notice you have a lantern of sorts on your here that looks strange. I sensed something unique about it, other than just giving off light. Perhaps you're a user of arcane arts, and I prestige again. And this time I just make a bunch of shapes start floating in front of me like triangles and circles.
Oh yes, darling, that is really nice. That's good. That's good. I like that. And then I just snap my fingers and some sparks come about.
Another magic user. Fascinating.
As you're sort of looking at this kind of heavy-set man, who you know, he works back in the kitchen. His name's Benjamin. Walks by you, just looks at you. Wilzu, hard at work again, I see. And just keeps walking. Benjamin's kind of a dick.
You said he came from a door?
He walked from the back room and he brought out some food to a couple of the tables.
When he walked by and said that, my eyes just kind of narrow but don't even turn, and I just let out a sigh. Yes, just talking to the customers like I'm supposed to, asshole. And then I regain myself after just a quick moment, remembering that I'm talking to another magic user. Yes, Sin. So, what brings you to the Northlook Inn?
Well, I imagine a glass of wine, of course. That's why I'm here. Don't you love the wine? No?
It's all right. I'm not allowed to drink most of it, but yeah, I believe it's good. It is good.
And I like to see old Bitey. He sings sometimes. Yes, it's very good.
Right, the fish.
Yes.
It's been here for a while. It's I've kind of gotten used to it. But all that aside, do you have any prior engagements? Are you a busy person, or you? Would you consider yourself a freelancer of sorts?
Do you poop out at parties?
Well, I guess you could say I'm kind of a free. I'm kind of free, you know. I try to help people here because they keep getting too cold, and then I have to heal them. You know, it's. I wish they would just stay inside, but I don't know. You know.
So would you?
Stupido.
You would maybe fancy yourself the adventurous type?
Depends what the adventure is.
So, let me tell you, I've actually, I'm an adventurer myself, hailing from Candlekeep, and I actually am starting my own adventure group, and we already have 2 illustrious, wonderful members right now. And if you'd like, you could be the 3rd. Well, 4th, technically counting me.
Sandy and Airmill, both of you hear this, basically this entire conversation. Nothing is a secret here.
Well, I do have an idea if you would like to hear it.
Absolutely. What is it?
So I got this lantern, and you see, I've been tasked with finding something, a creature. And maybe we could go on like a trial run to see if, we all get along, to make sure this would be, an okay thing.
That sounds perfect. A creature you don't even know what it is, and it may have Yes, absolutely.
Well, I do know what it is, but Chewingas. It's a hard word. I don't know.
Chewinga.
Chewinga. Yes.
You hear Scramsack say, "We don't sell those here."
No chewingas, I'm afraid. But we could find this creature and do whatever it is you want to do with it. I assume, fell it?
Sandy, you hear Scramsax, who starts wiping down the bar top, say, "Damn, Willzoo talking about what the hell is a chewinga anyway?"
I think he said chihuahua.
I hate those things. They're straight from Avernus.
I step on them all the time. They're just too small for me.
You do the world a service. He pours you another ale and slides it your way.
So, Sen, you are interested in them, yes?
Yes. So do you want to know any more about the Chewingas?
Yeah.
My lantern will. What?
Perhaps I should get our other members to first.
Okay, that's fine.
I message Willzoo. Oh, I can hear fine from over here.
I'll look around. Is there a table in here that could seat all 4 of us?
There is a man that walked in from the outhouse who's sitting at the main table. There's also a couple of other tables over here on the left, table 2 and table 3, as you know them. One has a little halfling sitting at it, and the other one has a male and female human just kind of sitting there. All 3 of which not really eating anything, but all have all have an ale in their hand.
I look at all these tables, and normally I'm really stoked about having a bunch of people to talk to, but I'm gonna like whisper a curse under my breath because I was trying to find an area where maybe us 4 could just be. So then I'll thinking on my as fast as I can. Let's meet back there. Yes, near the bench, and we'll gather over there and we'll introduce ourselves.
I get up.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll start walking towards Sandy, and I'll I guess give his ankle a pat. Mr. Ravage.
I like to kick at it, thinking it's like a small dog.
A
tugging on my pant leg.
No, Willzoo Snubblehead, sir. Down
I'm
below.
sorry, Willzoo. Didn't see you down there. What do you want?
You hear
Want another
Scramsax laugh.
I believe I have our grouped form. We are meeting behind me around the corner near a bench.
Oh, you know what? There is also a table here that has a couple of chairs and a bench. It's like one of those shitty McDonald's booths that have 2
Nice.
chairs and then the other side's a booth, and whoever is the loser has to sit in the chair, not the booth.
I'll mention that too. Oh, there's a table around there too. If you could wait there, I will be right there.
Absolutely.
You hear
And, I
Scramsack say, "Don't forget about checking on the glasses. The glass orders.
Right from Baramir.
Belron!
Belron! From Belron! Yes.
Gods.
Got it!
Do you need
Write that
Bell's Glasswork? And that's Bhelron. And Bell's Glassworks.
You said Balaam, right?
Belron.
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 Thank you for the spelling.
And he is the owner of Bell's BHEL''S Glassworks.
Which table are we going to? Also, I'm out of wine.
I turned to where
Scramsack says, "Since Wilzu is tied up," he looks over at you. He reaches down and pours another glass of wine and hands it over to you and says, "That'll be a silver."
Do you offer tabs?
He leans across the counter and says, "I do, but you gotta pay it back with interest." Wilzu, you know that this is something that he does frequently with adventurers who can't afford to pay. He will accept kind of a tab or a debt, but expects it to be paid very quickly after their next adventure. And you also know Scramsax to be a former adventurer himself and knows how to handle a blade.
You said a silver each, right?
Indeed.
Well, here's 2 for the one I had and one I am going to have.
Thank you. And he takes it and pockets it. We appreciate your patronage.
Seeing Aramil standing at the table. Oh, you must have heard me already if you're here and not there. I'll meet you in just a moment. Around the corner at the table. I just need to have a word with Scramsax real quick.
Sin, as you sit down, a large Goliath comes and sits down next to you, almost too big for the chair next to you. It's like an adult sitting at the kids' table at Thanksgiving.
Mr. Scramsax.
Wilzu?
So, if you recollect our agreement, you allowed me to stay here, which I am eternally grateful for, on the idea that I entertain and help serve guests, which I've done, and very well, we'll both agree. But I believe, and I'll lean close and whisper loudly, I may have finally found my group.
So, you're wanting to leave then?
I believe so, but we will still do our first group task together by checking on those glasses for you.
He says, I appreciate that. You also won't get your last night's pay until you do.
As acceptable? Completely. You are most generous.
Very
That
well.
being said, I'll push off the table and hop down. I believe I have a adventuring group to address. And I turn around.
He nods, and as you go to turn around and walk away, you hear again in the distance, there's a place I like to go, farther up the river's flow. Where it is I do not know, must be under all that snow. And old Bitey goes back to against the wall.
God damn that fish. Always that. Everyone! A pleasure to meet you. So, how is everyone feeling?
I'm good. Your wine is okay.
Not anymore. I can safely say it's shit.
Well, I'm certainly feeling it because my intonation is different.
Well, so introductions. Yes, we have Aramir, and I'm pointing him out like I'm pointing out a prized possession. like this thing's amazing.
Aramil.
Aramil, the
Aramil.
and I see a bow next to him. The ranger, fighter,
Lover? I don't know. Are we doing word associations? What are we doing here?
I'm introducing you all to so we can
My
immediately
surname
form a.
is Cyanodil, if that's what you're asking.
See it?
What?
Cyanodil.
I thought you just said your name was Airmail.
Aramil Cyanodil. That's a long one.
Oh, that's your last name. Oh, I didn't catch that earlier. Apologies.
Surname? Do we not know what surname means?
I have a surname, Snapplegap.
Exactly.
Oh.
But
I know how to use a bow, if that's what you're asking.
that is precisely what I was trying to get to.
I'm also really good with my hands.
With your hand?
Hands.
Oh, hands.
Right.
Yes, as am I. And I have another mage hand just above me waving. Wait, no,
Sure.
that's I apologize. Still in entertainer mode. Let's drop that. Throw that away. I dismiss my mage hand.
It
Back to introductions.
poofs away.
Here we have the lovely Sen, and I'm again I'm motioning towards the tiefling lady with just like you should be awestruck, and it's amazing. As you can see, she too possesses magical potential. And I'm motioning towards her lantern.
Very interesting phrasing.
Great to Sen. Thank you again for being here. This is a great occasion.
Of course, thank you.
So, Sin, are you of magical potential or actual magical user?
Well, obviously I'm a magical user. I blink my eyes and they look normal. They're just like normal blue eyes for just a second. And then I'll blink again and they're back to black.
Just curious on the phrasing.
Well, what do you mean?
Yeah,
I can
like
use
your
magic.
finger.
Oh, I wasn't paying
Phrasing.
attention.
What? What do you mean?
Who's next?
Yes.
Aramil.
Huh?
What do you
Yes.
mean you were confused on the phrasing? What do you
Well,
mean?
this gentleman here sounded like you did not know how to use magic. so I just-
Nonsense! I would never suggest as much. I simply said that because we're now adventurers and we'll be traveling together, our magical bond will grow over time. Thus, our potential exists.
Yes.
So, hold on. I'm understanding the same thing Airmail is, that you guys have no magic until you're together.
Well, no.
Who are these people? I thought that you said that we were going to be prepared. They seem to be very confused.
Yes, but you say that, but look at this. As I just motion a buck towering this Goliath next to me. How can you not look at this man of a man and not be awestruck just by vision alone?
I'm an
He's-
awestruck.
His muscles, his shape, his what weapons next to him?
A maul.
His
Nice.
maul is twice my size.
Do you have a
This
belt
man
on?
is made for adventuring,
Well,
and
look
his
at
name
his.
is Sandy Ravage.
Well, look at his belt. He is of quality stock.
Hello,
were-
Sandy. Hello.
Hey, I'm sure you already know me and I needed no introduction. If you guys would like an autograph, just feel free to ask and I'll give it out.
Would we
Oh.
know?
Winslow here already has one.
Will do.
So
Is
Aramil,
this like a rocks thing? Like,
Aramil, you actually
I feel like this
have
is like
heard
rock.
his name whispered before in the
Have I?
underbelly of Luskan.
wait a second.
Have I heard
Will
of
you
him?
No.
will you stand up to Sandy Ravage?
What, you want me to stand up?
Will you stand up and strike a pose?
I'll stand up. Just give him one of these.
Yes, I have heard of this.
Amazing.
Yes, he is a champion.
Sandy, I mean you no harm, but who are you?
I viciously just slapped the table.
It cracks.
Anyone that has not heard of me has been living under a rock for the last century. I am the world wrestling champion, and I forever will be.
I don't think I've been living under a rock, but I mean, I guess so.
I am an 8'3" ass-kicking machine.
Yes.
Yes, you are.
Yes, he is the Faerun World Heavyweight Champion 2 times. Well, yes, this is a
Wow.
living legend.
Darling, that's great. I'm so proud of you. Good job.
Well, thank you. Someday I'll show you all my tapes.
He split a man in half. There was human carnage.
Has it? Well,
That was one time on accident, and they told me it was fake. All right, don't worry about it.
okay. Well, no questions there. So here we are, a group, an adventuring group. Wow, I never thought I'd actually get this far. I have our first task. If everyone wants to hear about it.
Do tell.
So, I'm aware of rumors going around town and certain happenstances and events that perhaps we should check out, but there is one more important than any other, trumps every other task we should look at right now. And that is going to the glass workshop.
What do they have there?
And?
Poison.
Well, they send us on a quest.
No, I have a
Um,
quest.
No,
Yeah,
I
two
don't.
quests.
I don't think they will. We need to see if they have completed an order of glasses, drinking glasses, for this tavern.
Kinda seems like you're just trying to get us to do your job.
Nonsense! Nonsense! There are many other rumors that we will look into, such as I'm sure you've heard of them.
Willzu, let me help you here. Can I help you?
Yes.
What Willzu meant to say is we have to go and do this trivial thing for his boss. And while we're going, we will do our real mission. Start our real mission. We will take this magical lantern that I just so happen to possess. And while we are going, we will hope that it will glow a very beautiful, illuminating green. And then we will look for the Chawangas, the things when it glows green. We will capture one and we will take it to Danica. All
magical
while
beast.
under the guise of pretending we are going to look for some glass.
I
That
haven't
is
seen it.
what Willzu was trying to tell you, but he forgot the major part. Willzu, am I correct?
You are beyond correct. It is impressive how correct you are.
Thank
don't-
you.
I don't know. It sounds like to me we're doing errand boy and night guard duty.
Well,
Aramil, do you want to come or not? I thought we were an adventuring party right now.
the
Why,
Chewinga
yes.
is a very interesting beast. You would be surprised to see one. You will not miss out on nothing.
Well, yes, of course. I'm all in on this adventure. I just have to pout.
It's a team building experience so that we all can learn to get along and work together.
Right.
Yes.
So, one final thing then, and then I guess we should be off. Perhaps we should go over our specialties. Since now we're working together, traveling.
Yes.
Would you call it working? Adventuring together. Since
Yes.
we're adventuring together.
We're the
So as
errand boys. That's what they'll call us.
No, no.
Excuse me. I don't believe I am a boy.
The championship
So-
errand boys.
Again, I'm not a boy.
We will be
Man.
much more than that. We just start small and we build up. That's how, unfortunately, how all these things go. I've been here for a long time. Okay, I'm so glad you guys finally came in. But that being said, you already basically know my specialty. I'm a wizard of sorts. I can do the fancy magic and fire off the dangerous magic when I need to, and potentially help you if you're having some trouble. Maybe you're following a long distance, or maybe I don't know. I know a lot of things, but we'll figure that out in the moment. So that's what I am, and that's what I do.
Well, I'm good with a bow and a dagger if I need to.
Rangefighter, excellent. I guess I could guess what you do, Mr. Ravage.
I kick ass.
You do more crushing or more grappling?
Whatever is needed in the moment to decimate my opponents.
God, you're perfect.
I could not agree more.
What a
And
perfect specimen.
Well, I guess you could say that I help people even if I don't necessarily want. I mean, I guess you could say I'm a cleric.
Wait, you're a cleric?
Yes, but honestly, it's kind of have you ever heard of Loki?
You definitely
read
know of
something-
Loki.
Yes, I definitely know of Loki.
Praise be to Loki. Yes. Praise be to Loki.
You know him
I
as
just
the
kind of-
trickster god.
I like to have fun. I like to toy with people.
Ooh.
Sometimes I heal people, and then I tell them sometimes how dumb they are for getting hurt to begin with. If only they would just take care of themselves, and I wouldn't have to take care of them.
You are fascinating.
But, we'll see.
Sin, you could actually make a crazy amount of money up here. The only hero I'm aware of is, I think her name was Michonne. I'm not even sure she's from here.
I just wink. Maybe I can make some money. I mean, who knows? yeah, maybe. Okay.
Sin, can I ask a question?
Of course, darling. Why not?
Do you have sticky fingers?
Me? These are normal hands. I don't know what you're talking about.
Can I do a perception check?
You can do an insight check to see if she's lying, and if you would like to, whether or not you can do a deception check if you're trying to lie to him, and it's the contest.
With that 20, I don't think that I'll...
You can try. See, just go ahead and roll your deception. She is definitely not telling you the whole truth. No.
You seem of upright character, so sorry if I suspected anything. My apologies.
Oh, it's no big deal. It's okay.
Hey, Wilzu.
Yes!
Just a quick question since how long have you been in this tavern?
I would had to have been between about 6 to 7 months now.
Oh, how often would you say, hypothetically, would bounty hunters come through this tavern?
Bounty hunters. Well, I can't say too often because I would have tried to recruit them, and I've only gotten, honestly, a lot of negative feedback when it comes to that. So, almost none, I'd say.
Okay, just curious. No
There's
reason.
none that talk to me. Maybe they were, and they just wouldn't. They just didn't want me around. I don't. I'm not sure.
Okay, just curious.
Well, now that we are all aware of our capabilities to an extent, let's say we get over to that glass workshop.
Yes, okay.
Do you know where we need to look with your lantern?
Honestly, a woman named Danica Patrick. No, that's not the right Danica. Danica. Hang on. I know her last name.
Insert correct name.
Eagle Dane.
Danica Eagledane. I was saying that. She just said that there were elemental spirits and that they come out at night. It's easier to see a bright green if one of them are nearby, and to get one and bring to her. Oh, and we can share some gold, I guess. I might share some with you.
Does she want
Wow.
it dead or alive?
Alive, obviously. How else will she study it?
How will you capture this?
I don't know. That's why we're working together as a team.
We have the best weapon to capture it. What are you talking about? And motion to Sandy again.
But what is? Do we know what a chewinga is?
Make a if you're make a history check.
Ravage keeps thinking they're saying Chihuahua wrong.
Nice.
So you have never really seen one, or you've definitely never seen one, but they are supposedly these little spiritual elementals. They can be mischievous, they're very curious, but they're also very shy most of the time. But they do know certain magics. But that's about them. That's pretty much what you know about what you've heard about them.
Because I just remember that PlayStation game that Kara played. The pet chewinga.
Oh yeah,
The butterfly or whatever.
yeah. Until Dawn.
Yeah. All right. Well, if they're little elementals, you can't really just grab them, can you?
I don't even know. I don't really have anything to capture an elemental. Is a chewinga an elemental, Sen?
Yes, Moose. Would I know anything more?
Yeah, you would know that they are elementals. Let me pull this up here real quick, and I can tell you more. So Danica would have told you that, more or less essentially what I just told Aramil, but she was under the impression that her contact, Dazan, and her together could possibly use these things or their magic to maybe help figure out what's causing this winter, or maybe even help reverse the effects of this everlasting winter.
But she didn't say anything about how to capture.
Nope.
Thanks a lot, Danica.
She just offered you a reward and pointed out to you on the map that you have of Bryn Shander, of where her home is, and if you're to find one, to bring it to her.
Should check her GoDaddy.com website.
Damn it.
So, if, by the way, I maybe should mention this.
Mm-hmm.
If we can capture the chewinga,
Chewinga.
I can provide each of you with 5 gold.
Is that each or divided amongst us?
No, each. Each get 5 gold. Let me make sure. Let me check. Let me make sure what she promised me. Yes, 5 gold each. And yeah, yes.
So a few moments later, this gentleman up here sort of stumbles out of his chair. He's very drunk, and he just sort of walks up to your table and stands there for a second. He's not the smartest looking individual.
It's a red brown.
kind of heavier set, and it's just sort of kind of leaning from side to side for a second, and he kind of looks at the table, and he looks at you, and he says, "Yeah, it's talking about chewingas."
What do you know about the chewingas?
Especially someone as uncouth as you are.
No, I've seen the chewingas. I saw one just the other night. And he kind of leans back and he almost kind of falls back, but then he comes back forward. You guys wouldn't know nothing about that, though.
Really?
I'm the best.
And where did you see this?
Best chewinga hunter in the 10 towns. Saw one
Can you
riding
fix me a chewinga?
Saw one riding a fox. He was riding a fox. He's down this
Does this
He
look like
just,
a regular to me?
it- Yeah. You know him. You know him. His name is Stanley, and he comes in fairly regularly and just gets completely smashed. He says, he looks down at you, Wilzu, and says, "Wilzu, aren't you supposed to be bringing my drink?"
I'm actually off the clock at the moment, and having to look into this Chewinga business.
Well, I saw one. He was riding a fox, and this.
Right. Well. Oh, he's
In
out.
this,
Okay.
in the south part of the city. He's riding a fox, and he just kind of turns
Stanley,
and
Stanley,
waddles
hey.
away.
Stanley,
That's
Stanley.
and he kind of
Just
just
let him
he
go.
just keeps walking, and then he hits the table that where you were sitting, Sucinda. And as he hits it, he just kind of rolls over to the side into a chair, and head hits the table, and he falls asleep.
Sin, I wouldn't waste your time with him. That's Stanley. He kind of, he's sloshed every day of the week, so he's probably full of shit. So let's just let him. Let's let him, and we do us. Mm.
Okay, you say so. That's fine. Yes, Wilson.
Well-
Thank you.
When do you want to set out?
So right now it's about 2:30 p.m. So it's not daylight. It's it's twilight. So the light is still good.
I think Lady has to go poop now.
Well,
Keeps coming and harassing me.
we're about
I
to
was
take
gonna-
a little break here.
Okay.
Well, if we're about to go now, let me go to the bathroom first before we leave.
When everyone's ready, we will go right now to the Glassworks place and look for Chewingas directly after.
Okay. Well, with that, let's take a quick break. Let's take a 15-minute break. That'll give us plenty of time to get refills, let the dogs out, use bathroom, all that good stuff. Guys, thanks for hanging with us. Give us a few minutes to take care of this, and we will be right back. Yeah, so just hang tight.
Chawinga.
And we're back. Thank you everybody for being patient with us, giving us time. We got our drinks. I think everybody got their drinks. Yeah. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Clink, clink, clink.
Clank, clank, clank.
To the new campaign. All right. So if you're just joining us, you haven't fallen too far behind. Essentially, we started our campaign here in the tavern at the Northlook Inn in Bryn Shander, one of the settlements of 10 towns, and our group has just sort of kind of gotten to know each other a little bit, and they've made a plan to set out into the city to do a couple things. To check on an order of glasses for the bar, the tavern there, as well as possibly track down and capture some little magic creatures known as Chwingas. Chwingas!
Chawinga.
So, that being said, let's jump back into it.
Now, Wilzu.
Yes.
Wilzu.
Yes.
Do you have any trash bags or bags? Maybe we could catch one in that.
I don't think it's going to be that easy. If they're little elementals, and we don't even know what type of elemental, but if I had to take a wild guess, it's very cold outside, so likely something ice related. And I look over at Sin.
Why are you looking at me for?
Because you have the Chewinga task, right?
You
It's
brought
our
this?
task now. Remember I said that it is all of our problem now, and for the burden, I will provide 5 gold. Once when I get paid, then we divvy 5 gold.
Yes.
So it's all of our problem now.
It's the
Right,
Aaron
right,
folks problem.
Maybe
Yes.
the glass place has like a jar we could use.
Mr. Ravage, on point. And I hop out of my seat with this newfound plan. So if everyone's ready, let's get started.
Do you know where this glass place is?
Of course I do. I've been here for about 6 months. I've explored a little bit.
You know it's on the southern, so the city of Bryn Shander is on top of a hill, but it's basically a circle with high walls around it. The Northlook is right up by the northern gate. Bell's Glassworks is more towards the it's if you go through the center of the circle, it's more towards on the southern hemisphere of the city. It's about a 10-minute walk.
All right, are we going? or what?
Perfect.
Yes. Let's. Well, damn. What I was going to say, let's go adventuring group, but that just sounds lame. Jeez, we have to have a name. We have to have a name. We're the adventuring group now.
Aaron folks?
Cold Refuge. No? Okay.
It'll come to us.
How about the NWO?
Yes. Yes.
What's the NWO?
If you don't know, then you're not good enough to be in the NWO.
It's the new world order.
Brother.
I whisper.
Well, damn it. We have to think of another name then.
What
we'll think on
about W ass?
it.
What? Ask me why now.
Why, Sin?
W for Wilzu, and then the rest of our initials spell ass. It's funny.
I mean, it's.
She's not wrong.
Name. So I guess, sure.
I was kidding, Wilzu. I was kidding.
No, Sin, you don't understand. This is genius. Because now when we head out, we can simply point and go, "Was out."
I was only joking. I
We'll
thought
stick
it
with
was
it for now.
funny.
We just won't register it quite yet because maybe we'll have something better.
And from then on, they were known as WAS.
What about the saws? Because the initials spell out saws.
Well, that just doesn't make sense. I don't cut anything. Do you cut things?
We cut through our problems.
You're not wrong, but it's better just say hang out with your ass out, in my opinion.
Oh my god.
I shouldn't have said it. I was only trying to joke.
Until further notice, it's settled then. Everyone seems to like it. Let's go west these problems out.
We should
I'm
rock
start
out.
walking towards the exit.
We should rock out with our wass out.
Okay, so the front doors are up here in this corner here, and as you open the door, you see in the mud room snow kind of creeping in, starting to melt, and then you open the doors to the outside, where the cold immediately assaults you. It's not snowing at the moment, but the wind has picked up a little bit and is sort of biting at your cheeks.
All right, we're making our way right to the glass section with the, like trying to keep all the heat we had on us.
Okay, so our map of Bryn Shander. You are currently up at the very north.
Wow.
Right here, leaving the North Look. You know that the Glassworks is kind of actually close to Town Hall. So, just for the sake of brevity, we'll say you follow the main road down through the town square. When you get to the town square, you see there is a group, sort of a decent-sized group of people that are finishing up building a wooden platform, as well as it looks like they're constructing a pyre. Just a large wooden pole that sticks up, and there's they're kind of putting a few sticks and pieces of wood. Wood is not super easy to come by here, as you're not near any forests or anything here, and they only really use it for a few things, but they are taking that wood, building this pyre, and then sort of covering it with whale oil.
Oh,
for
gods.
what you know is to be the lottery.
This barbaric act again. You all familiar with the lottery?
Unfortunately, these idiots seem to think it'll work. I mean, clearly they don't follow Loki.
Does anybody seem in duress in the group?
If you look at me, I look kind of like disappointed in humanity.
Or in the group of people?
Out of them.
Is there a chosen one already?
No. Nobody looks like they're worried at the moment, no.
One of the rumors I heard, apparently the person's already been picked, lottery or not. Some guy named Vin Eagledane.
Who?
Huh? Sin? You okay?
You said Eagle who?
Vin Eagledane?
That must be why. Oh my goodness, no, that must be why my not friend Danica was so upset. Oh my goodness, did they say why he was chosen?
No, it's just a rumor. It was floating around the tavern, so, I just overheard the name. Woof.
A stray dog runs through the street, barks at you a couple
I
times.
cannot believe it.
Is that a problem? Is he okay?
Right.
So,
should we be upset?
The person who tasked us with this lantern task, that is Danica Eagledane. So that must be her brother or her father. Did they say are they old or are they young? Maybe it's her son. Oh my goodness, maybe it's her son that's dying. No, she's young
Is she
already.
married?
Clearly they're not killing a child.
Husband?
Maybe her husband.
I don't know. We're new
I
here.
don't know
Should we
either.
be mad? I don't know what to do.
I'm just in shock. How could they do this to Danica?
Yes, I'm in shock too.
These people are desperate, They're hoping that perhaps this will bring an end to their cold times, but we know it won't. Just sacrifices don't. It wouldn't. It just doesn't work this way, you know?
Right, if it were going to work, it would have worked the first time. What a bunch of freaking idiots. But, I mean, what am I to say? They just don't know about Loki. It's a shame, but, you know, whatever. It's not my problem.
Right. Onward to the glassworks, then. Poor Eagle Dane. If it is him, might not even be him.
Right.
Could
Do
be
it
like
there.
a cousin.
Oh, no. Oh, yes, could be a cousin.
So, continuing on to the glassworks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You make your way through the streets. Very few people in them, and the further you get away from the kind of the town square, the people just kind of dissipate a bit, and you're back to pretty much empty streets. Occasionally, you'll see one or two people sort of walking the opposite direction. But after about 15 minutes or so, you find yourself standing outside of a rock and wooden building with a steep roof on top of it, with a sign out front that says Bell's Glassworks.
Okay, this is the place. Let's be in and out so we can do something worth a damn as opposed to this last task for the tavern. And I'll hastily get up to the door and just try to open it.
Yep, it opens right up. And when you walk in, you see a short, stout dwarf. Not with his back to you, but kind of his side. He's at a desk on the inside of this. Almost looks like a forge. There's a kind of an anvil, a large fire pit, basically everything you'd need to kind of work with glass, to make any number of things. And as you walk in, he sort of does a double take and then quickly kind of shuffles something around at his desk and turns to you and says, "Aye! What? Is that you, Wilzu?"
Yes, it is, Belron. Pleasure as always.
What are you doing here?
Well, you know, we were sent to check and see if you had the the glasses for.
Did Scramsack send you here?
Yes.
That wet pile of look, you tell him. You go back to the Northlook and you tell him he'll get his glasses when they're ready. He only ordered them 2 days ago.
Oh, they're not even ready? He sent me here for. Damn it, Scram Sacks. I'm glad. Okay, sure. If I'm being honest, this was my last task for the tavern. We're an adventuring group now. Let me introduce you to the Wes.
He looks confused at you, and he takes a moment and goes back down and sort of closes his desk up and locks it, puts his key in his pocket, and walks up to the lot of you and says, you finally found yourself a group, huh?
That I did, and they're all very capable. I mean, look at this one. He's freaking huge.
He looks up to you, Mr. Ravage. Indeed he is. You don't see many Goliaths wandering around these parts.
There's only one Goliath that matters, and that's me. Doesn't matter if there's any other Goliaths running around. Now,
from what I hear, there's a couple of clans up in the mountains that would disagree with you.
We're not talking about the mountains, we're talking about the 10 towns. Can you give me a better ETA on when these glasses are going to be finished? So we can tell my buddy's boss here that they're not going to be finished and give him a better time?
Make an intimidation check.
God.
Wow.
Oh. That's with advantage.
He
Advantage, right?
he looks at you and says, "Well, quite the straightforward group you have here. They'll be ready when they're ready. It takes time. I've got to heat the glass. I've got to work it. I've got maybe 5 glasses I could send back with you, but I can tell you right now, if you go back with 5 glasses, Scramsax ain't gonna be very happy with you."
I want to walk up to the innkeeper. Oh, but darling, don't you think that maybe we can, like, prioritize our order? You know, I would really appreciate it if, you know, we just kind of are bumped up a little. My friend Wilzu, he would really appreciate it. Don't you think that we can maybe, you know, skip a few people in line and prioritize us, please?
He kind of furrows his brow a little bit. Make a persuasion check with advantage.
A small tear forms on Wilzu's eye. So proud and happy that these people he just met are trying so hard to help him with just this small task.
He says,
Wow.
Natural 20.
"Well,
Hot roll.
I suppose I could shuffle a few things around. It's been quite busy here the past couple of weeks, but, well, Wilzu, he's the one person out of that entire tavern that I could even stand to be around, so, all right, you have yourself a deal. Give me a couple of days, and I'll have your glass order ready."
Oh, darling, that's so nice of you. Thank you so much. You're so kind. Thank you.
Indeed. He kind of furrows his brow and he says, "Well, if that's it then, I'll get back to work. I'm going to be in the town square here in..." Kind of looks out the window. "Maybe an hour or so for the lottery."
Belron, one thing before we go. We've known each other for a good bit now, and you seem like a good fellow. I wanted to ask you, because I've been here for a bit now, but I'm still uncertain. How random is this lottery?
He kind of laughs. "Been hearing the rumors, have ya?"
I start eyeing around nervously. It's odd to hear a man's name is going to die. Guaranteed.
"Well, from what I know, it's completely random, and these rumors are just rumors. Nothing to worry about, I wouldn't say."
Oh, but what's all the rumors? You know, us females, we love the gossip. What do you tell me?
People love to argue on and on. "Oh, it's gonna be this person, it's gonna be that person."
Yes, speculation.
People love to think they've got it all figured out. They don't.
So what are they saying? I mean, what do you mean, though?
Well, I
Please do
suppose
tell me.
the rumor right now is that a man named Eagledine is the one that's going to be burned at the stake tonight, but again, rumors.
So obviously they haven't actually drawn the name yet, right? So we don't actually know who it will be, yes?
Well, the speaker and the sheriff, they draw the name, so they would know, but nobody else except a select few random people that are picked each new moon.
So
That's one. We know it's once a month.
Once per new moon. You know that each town offers a sacrifice to Auril
Right.
on the new moon. But what that
They're all
sacrifice is varies from town to town, yeah. This just happens to be one of the towns that offers a human sacrifice.
I suppose we might be there later too, then.
Well, if you're not, you'll certainly be one of the very few.
why?
Everyone goes to the lottery.
Everyone goes to the lottery. Almost no one
Everyone.
doesn't go. Right. An idea like Wilzu starts getting an expression like some cogs are turning right now after hearing this.
He says, "Oh, Wilzu, I see I see you thinking. Yeah, that's gotten you in trouble before.
Right, and I'm thinking I need to go deliver your message about that glasswork. So we greatly appreciate your kindness and your help, and we will take our leave. Hmm?
He looks
Really
at you.
quick though, before we go, question for you.
Mm-hmm.
A kind man such as yourself. I see you sell glassware here, but do you also sell anything else? Like, I'm a female, I'm so cold. You don't have anything, do you? You don't sell other
Not anything
things?
that'll keep you warm except the forge.
Is it a portable forge that I can start up anywhere? Like a miniature version.
He takes a step to the left and turns around and looks behind him, and you can kind of see behind him as well. It's a huge, massive concrete forge with bellows and just like everything you would need to
Nothing
run a
smaller.
forge.
No smaller forge. Forge to go.
Not a portable forge, no. That sounds like something some sort of gnome would come up with. And he looks at you, Wilson.
I'm not gonna lie, I was thinking about how to use my firebolt to make a portable forge. Yes.
Sounds smart. Okay.
What
well,
about a
thank you so
large
much.
jar?
Oh.
For the chewinga, yes.
Looking for Twingas.
Chewinga.
Everyone knows those things are fake. But you need a jar. Kind of looks around. He goes over to a table, kind of moves some stuff around. He comes back with a little mason jar, about the size of a mayonnaise jar. And he says, you can have this. And he hands over a jar.
Take it.
You reach out and grab it.
I just snatch it from his hand.
All right. Well,
Question. Another question. I have another question, sir.
quite the inquisitive tiefling, I see.
Yes, all the questions, of course. You don't by any chance have a magical glass that say you pour something hot inside of it and it stays hot? No?
Kind of
Yes?
thinks for a second. Says, no, just regular glass.
Oh, well then, okay, that's all. Okay, no big deal.
Oh, all right. Well, you have, any more questions?
No, Mr. Belron, I think we are good.
I think so too.
All right. Well, tell Scrant Sachs he'll have his glasses in a couple of days.
Right. That's our next task. Yes. You have a good evening. And I suppose maybe we'll see you at the lottery.
Maybe. There's going to be a lot of people there. And you know that Bryn Shander has a population of about 1,500 people. There's a bunch of people that live here.
I'll turn to walk out. Leave the shop.
Everybody leaving?
We out.
Okay. So you are kind of in the southern part of the city here, right around here. When you walk out, everybody make a perception check for me. As the cold wind sort of assaults you again as you walk out. Let's see here. So, Wilzu, Sandy, and Sucinda, you all notice as you take a few steps outside of the glassworks that Sin's lantern has a faint glow to it.
Sin,
Yes?
what's your lantern? You mentioned it going green or something? And I'm pointing at it.
Yes. Oh, there must be a chawinga near us.
I start looking around, and immediately, for some reason, I start thinking of a fox. as I start looking around.
You don't see any foxes or anything running around.
Does it not? Does that means they're close, right?
Shouldn't
I put it
we be
in front of
going-
me and kind of do this number. Does it start glowing brighter anywhere I turn?
As you turn it around, it does kind of fade and then get brighter as you point it towards the south.
This way.
Shouldn't we be going back to the inn?
Oh, who cares about that? I proceed forward.
You see Sin just sort of very confidently walk off towards the south.
Yeah, you know what? Who does care about that? I'll simply say I got lost. Let's go.
We don't have the glasses anyway, so we don't need to rush back.
Right, we can just say we got caught in traffic. There was snow. Oh my god.
Right.
Fine.
Let the hunt begin.
We should stay together.
All right, I'm gonna have all of you. We're gonna do a group check here. I need everybody to make let's call it a survival check.
Yay, yay.
Man.
Survival. Ooh.
Okay. So half of you succeeded, so the group succeeds. As you are kind of wandering around and you're sort of panning this lantern around and following the brightness, in the distance you see a cottage. I mean, there's a lot of buildings around, but there's kind of a smaller house, actually, that you see a human, a woman, kind of stomping out of the house quickly, out of this kind of snow-covered cottage. And when she sees you in the distance, and you're probably about 20 feet away or so, she just starts yelling at the wind, and you hear her say, the curse is here! I'm sick of it! I'm sick of it! Let me bring us over here to this. Give me 1 second. To here. There we go. So you see this woman sort of yelling at you and says, "They're taking this and everything and moving it around and blowing doors open. I'm sick of it."
I start jogging up to her. Ma'am, what seems to be the trouble here?
These damn spirits! They're slamming doors and opening my windows. They're sending just horrible chills through my home. Knocking over my cups and my plates. And I swear, some of my cutlery's missing.
I'll turn to Sin and look
Darling.
at your lantern again.
It is glowing
It's not
pretty
those-
brightly.
Those damn chowingas, is it?
I don't think those things are real, but I mean, I don't know. You can have your fair share. I'm done. I'm finding a new house tomorrow.
Don't worry, ma'am.
Sick of this.
Rent. Can I have it?
No,
Do
you
you
can't
have
just
the-
have it.
Do you have the deed?
Is this my house now?
This sounds like something stupid my brother would do. You guys, this is weird.
You sure hate your brother.
I'll tell you about him later, but this is more important. Ma'am, Lass is here to cover your ass. You just sit tight.
She says,
Okay, we're
if you
going
can
in your
figure it
home
out,
now.
then great. Just anything to help. Anything. And she just kind of flustered walks off towards the opposite direction from
she-
which you came.
Was she injured or anything?
No, she looked fine.
Ravage, I believe you taking points the best course of action here.
Well, absolutely. Nothing can defeat me. But I can't see much because for some reason I can only see around myself.
Oh, that's because it is still very dark outside.
Okay.
Can everybody else can see, correct?
I can see.
Yes.
Do we all have special eyes, but Sandy Ravage?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Cool.
We're 3 for 4.
At least I'm not cold. I kick open the door.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you walk in. It's a pretty modest looking cottage. There's not a lot really going on in here, nothing special. But all of you can make an investigation check. Sandy, you're having kind of a hard time seeing around everywhere, but the rest of you, as you're kind of looking around, you kind of convene over at this back window here. And you see that this window is slightly cracked. And outside, when you look through the window, you see a few sets of just tiny tracks in the snow leading away from the cottage.
It appears maybe they have left then.
Left. As you said, I see this too.
Yes.
Interesting.
Then we have to pursue, right?
Wilzu, I like your can-do attitude. Let's go.
And I'll start sprinting outside and head around the corner.
You just start going in. Once... Go ahead.
After they leave, is there anything valuable in here?
Looking around, no, there doesn't sit. There's a couple of wooden mugs, just a little bit of firewood, not much. It's still something you don't see in a whole lot of homes here. And then just kind of your basic necessities for survival.
I'll leave.
And do I see the tracks in the snow right here?
You see the tracks, and they start to get kind of covered up by the snow, but they look like they are leading kind of away from the house, kind of towards the northeast.
Sin, use the lantern to aim at these tracks and try to keep following them. We'll follow the brightness.
Yes, of course. Of course. The lantern is in front of me. Guide
So
my
the
way.
lantern is definitely glowing very brightly, but at this point, it doesn't seem to, increase or decrease in brightness. As a matter of fact, here, for the sake of poor Sandy here,
Nah.
we'll say that it emits a bit of light. Can you see that, Sandy? Okay.
Can.
Since you saw the tracks, you can see that they look to lead to a small thicket up kind of in the northeastern area.
I
You
draw
see
my
that?
bow.
In the thicket.
This way, it looks like... in here, maybe? And I'm pointing at the thicket. In fact,
pull
I'll
a-
cast Mage Hand and start kind of slapping it.
I'll have an arrow ready. Like, should we be ready? I don't know.
Well, we have to capture one. Ravage, have the jar ready.
Take off the top. I'm ready.
Ready to pounce? So
We just need one. Just one.
you don't. The thicket's kind of dense, so your mage hand doesn't really do a whole lot, as it just kind of moves the branches around.
It's super thick. Maybe
That's
Ravage,
what. Never mind.
push pieces apart or something. Let's get in there.
Everybody can make a perception check, though.
Whoa,
Nice.
we see good.
Yeah.
Not me.
So, Wilzu and Sandy, once you get close to this thicket, you can kind of pick up the sound of movement from behind these kind of conifers.
What's a conifer?
Like almost like a pine tree would be like a conifer.
Oh.
It's like, you know, needly type like kind of a needly type plant or tree that bears cones.
I have my bow ready.
Okay.
Something's in there. Something's moving around. Something's definitely moving around in there.
I can
Chewinga.
hear it.
It might be them.
I'll kick the branches and whatever in front of me.
Okay.
Just try to stir it up a little bit.
Okay, you stir it up, and the sound kind of goes quiet for a second. And then resumes. You just hear the sound of just some sort of movement.
Okay. I think if I jump in there, I'll be able to wrestle anything down and put it in the jar.
This sounds like a really good plan.
I agree.
Okay, I get into like a pouncing stance, and then I just dive into the bush.
Oh shit.
Okay, so you just jump right into these thickets. And when you come down, before you, you see a trio, a group of small elemental type creatures, very small. They look like they're playing on top of the snow in this little clearing in the thicket here. They have a dinner plate on the ground with branches and pine cones kind of arrayed and placed on it between them. And one Chewinga is sitting at the edge of the plate while the other two are moving a fork and a knife as if to cut the food. This is what you see when you go through.
Wow.
Look how cute they are.
They're adorable.
When you kind of bust through, they look up at you, all of them, and they both stop cutting the pine cone at the same time and just look at you with interest. The one that's not holding a piece of cutlery in its hands starts moving its hands, mimicking eating while looking up at you, kind of making a welcoming gesture for you.
Okay. Well, I'll kind of like set the jar to the side, and I'll try to gain them their trust by motioning eating the pine cone as well.
So you're gonna go up and kind of
Yeah, like try to gain trust and
okay.
whatever.
As you sit down and kind of pretend to eat, it looks like they become excited, like they get kind of a little pep in their step. And they, all three of them, start inspecting you in great detail. Kind of looking under, they kind of lift up one of your arms and look underneath it, and they're looking at your ankle and your face, just kind of looking. And one of them actually kind of comes up and pulls your gum up, and they're like looking at your teeth. And then they just kind of go back and sit and continue eating their dinner.
Okay. Well, now I'd like to grab the jar and kind of like point at it, like point it towards them and like kind of like, hey. And see if any one of them will try to go in it.
The Chewinga that wasn't holding any cutlery sort of looks at you for a moment and kind of turns his head a little bit and looks at the jar and then looks at you and just runs up to you and just hops on your shoulder and sits on your shoulder.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'd like to pick up the pine cone. I'll put the jar back down.
Okay.
Pick up the pine cone and kind of motion the other two to hop on my shoulder.
The other two, they just seem to be interested in cutting this pine cone. One of them is holding a fork and the other a knife, and they're just kind of cutting it but they're not doing a very good job of it. But this one just definitely seems interested in you.
Okay. Well, the one that's interested in me, I just kind of look at him and nod and kind of make my way back out of the bush to show the rest of my party the friend I have found.
And when he comes to the bush, the rest of you see this little, not even, I mean, this thing's probably 7 inches, 8 inches tall, sitting on the shoulder of Sandy Ravage.
What is that?
They found great interest in me, like most other things find interest in me, and were awestruck by my size. So he offered me a pine cone, and I pretended to eat it, and now I think I have gained his trust.
Are you part of their tribe?
I must be. There's 2 more in there that are using a fork and knife to attempt to cut a pine cone and eat it. I tried to get them to come with me as well. They don't seem interested. I have this one, but if we need the other 2, I can go back in there and just put them in the jar.
And when you say this one, it kind of gets real close to your face and you hear just kind of next to your ear.
Aw.
It's kind of tugging on it a little bit.
So, this thing, I think it trusts me enough to hang with us, but if we need to put it in the jar, I could put it in the jar. Kind of wanted to get the general consensus, of the group.
Sin,
Sorry, go ahead.
do you know what they're planning to do with them?
I just know that the woman who says they want to study them to see if they can help improve the climate of the area. But she did say something like it was a cute creature or these beautiful creatures she can't wait to study. It was a positive thing. Yeah, she says, and let me quote, these cute little creatures. Cute little creatures. So clearly, I mean, she must kind of like them a little bit.
Okay.
I personally put it in the jar because we don't know what they're capable of, but it's your call. It seems to like your face.
You hear it.
Ah, yes, just like the Cornish pixies from Harry Potter. They had to demobilize them and then put them in the jar really quickly.
You're right.
Maybe, did they like anything? Maybe we can put something in the jar so it knows that we don't mean it any harm.
Well, I tried to move the pine cone, but they seem to just keep trying to cut it.
Looking around, do I see a pine cone? Pine cone, pine cone, pine cone, pine cone.
There's a couple laying around near the thickets.
I grabbed 2 of them and put them in the jar. Sandy, may I put these in your jar, please?
Absolutely.
I put them in the jar.
You can try to go in there to see if you can get the other 2 to come out. I'd hate to separate the 3 of them.
Oh, that's a good point. If they're going to die, maybe they all die together.
Okay. So do you want to get the other 2 then? Sin?
I guess I can try. I grabbed some more pine cones if I can find them. And try and walk into the thicket with some pine cones in my hand.
Okay, you walk in and you see them still sitting there, kind of cutting at the pine cone.
With the pine cones in my hands, I'd take them and put them kind of down in front, like, come on. Come on, children.
And they kind of look over and then just turn around and kind of ignore you and go back to cutting their plate.
I would like to change my eyes to look like pine cones.
Yeah, pine cone eyes?
Yeah.
They look very intrigued by this when you do that. And one of them gets up and kind of comes over and kind of pokes at your eye.
Oh.
It's on me, though?
It's not
Just one
on
of
you.
them?
Oh, yeah, like climbs up, yeah.
What about the other one? Where's the other one?
It's just still kind of sitting there messing with the pine cone on the plate.
Come.
And it
Come
kind
here.
of looks at you and then looks at its companion. And then it
It's gonna get mad at me.
Turns
One of
its
them did
head a
have a
little
knife
bit, and it drops the fork that it had in its hand, and it turns and just darts off into the
course
thicket
it did.
and disappears.
Just one of them or two of them?
The other one, seeing his other friend run, jumps off of your shoulder, and
Do I have time to react?
you can try and grab it if you make a let's call it a, let's see, this would be something with dexterity here. So let's
I've
say,
changed my mind. Actually, I don't want to catch it. I want it
Okay.
to go away.
okay, it jumps off and just runs
Okay,
off.
I'm gonna turn.
And
I'm
you
gonna
see
turn
it,
around to
you see it
Sandy.
cast something as it goes, and after it finishes its spell casting, you see that it no longer leaves footprints in the snow and disappears
Okay.
into the thicket.
I'm gonna turn around and rejoin my group and say, Sandy, do not make any sudden movements, but the other two have left. So, we need to get the one probably in the jar.
The Chwinga looks back at you and kind of makes a couple of its little noises, and then just grabs onto Sandy's hair and kind of hides itself inside of Sandy's hair, and you just see his little face poking out at you.
It seems to have found a better place to be.
Yeah.
Just
Sandy.
stay close to me. If he tries to JUMP OFF me, we'll put him in the JAR.
Okay, that sounds
Right.
smart.
And I kind of just like, I'll pet my hair to pet him a little bit.
Okay. And as you're doing that, you can feel him like inspecting your hand. Like he's like peeling your fingers apart here and like looking in between them. Very curious.
Now, I suppose we need to get to, Danica, was it?
Yes,
Right.
Danica's.
All right, Sin, lead the way.
So, Sen, you know that Danica's is actually not far from the North Look. She actually only lives a couple of blocks east. So following your same route that you took to get down here, you know, it's kind of right around in this area here where she lives.
Perfect. Onward we go.
Okay, so we're all heading out.
Sorry, I was having a fever dream. I remember reading a book about a tale of adventures in a jungle, and they met this crazy drug guy, and he was talking about chewingas. He said chewingas, man, if I remember right. Something I don't know.
Shout
I
out.
I just can't place it.
Shout out.
Shout out.
So about this time, it's closing in on for about 3:45, 4 p.m. So the sun, I'm so used to saying that, the light that's given off by the aurora is starting to fade as twilight begins to end. And you start to see the darkness sort of overtake the dim light that once sort of illuminated the town, because there is, obviously, on the night of the new moon, there is no moon. So there's not much light outside of the lanterns and things that are hanging pretty generously around town, so it's not hard to find your way through. It's not like putting a blindfold on. But you do notice that night is pretty much here.
Is the lottery
Continuing.
happening now?
More than likely, it's probably going to happen soon.
Okay. I think the lottery happens soon. I guess let's go to your Danica first, and then maybe we'll meet at Town Square. I feel like this is something we should be there for.
I agree.
Should we try and prevent it or let it happen, or who are we?
Maybe
Well-
when we go, we can see what Danica knows, and it would kind of be like putting puzzle pieces together for us.
Right, she had something to do with the rumored man they're going to call, so
Yes, maybe brother, maybe cousin, maybe father, maybe son, maybe uncle.
and that reason we should be hasty to get to her before it actually happens.
Yes.
Let's put a pep in our step and move our wasses.
Why do I feel like
Indeed.
that name's gonna be the one that sticks?
Yeah.
All right, so you make your way through town and back to the town square. And as you're passing through, you notice that it's actually starting to get quite crowded there. And soon you start to hear a murmur through the crowd coming from the south, actually behind you, from behind you. And the crowd sort of starts to split. As you see a group of militia sort of walking through the street. And ahead, at the center of town square, you can see kind of propped up now on this pyre a pale human that's bound and tied to this wooden pyre in the center of the town square. He has no warm clothing on, just some leather boots, brown pants, long sleeve undershirt, and a black cowl over their head. What little hair you see is long and kind of mostly gray, peeking out from beneath the cowl. And they seem to have their head down, either in some sort of silent prayer or in sorrow. What are we wanting to do? Are we wanting to kind of get closer, stay where we are?
Seeing it already go down, I kind of want to get a little closer. You guys want to get a little closer to check this out? I thought it'd be a little bit still, but this shit's going down.
Does seem to be going down.
We should be cautious.
Absolutely. Let's cautiously get close.
Okay, so moving a little closer. Okay, you make your way through the crowd as best you can. Sandy, the Chewinga has now completely hidden itself in your long hair and seems to be attempting to conceal itself from anybody else seeing it. But you feel it occasionally sort of looking in your ear, like almost like it's trying to see what's in there. And you just try to ignore it as best you can. So you get probably about 20 feet from the pyre. There's probably about 6 or so, maybe 7 rows of people in front of you. And there's the large pyre, and then about 10 feet away is this platform that's built. And only a few moments pass until Speaker Duvessa Shane and her sheriff, Markham Southwell, step onto the platform that's been under construction for the past couple days. The town square is illuminated only at this point by the torches in the hands of some of the spectators, some on the front of the buildings and one in the hand of the sheriff. Several armed militia stand throughout the crowd and then sort of make their way around the pyre. Let me change this here. So, this is the speaker. Oh, it's not gonna do, is it? Let me fix this real quick. There we go. So, the crowd slowly simmers into a low murmur and then complete silence. The wind howling through the streets and the flicker of torches are the only audible sounds remaining. The speaker steps forward and up onto the platform. You can see her pretty easily. She has a solemn look on her face, and her eyes scan the crowd. For those of you who do not know me, I am Duvessa Shane, the speaker for Bryn Shander and the head of the Council of Speakers. You all know why we are here today. She sort of looks to the moon, or the lack thereof. On the night of the new moon, we have agreed to make the ultimate sacrifice to the Frost Maiden in hopes of quelling this never-ending winter. Many of you have stood here before and taken part in this event, and once again we make an offering to Ariel. I am aware the gravity this offering has, but I would also remind you that to live here, in Bryn Shander, the stronghold of 10 towns, is a blessing in and of itself. Our high walls keep our townsfolk safe from the numerous threats that prowl just outside our doors. Our standing militia, led by Sheriff Southwell, are among the best that 10 towns has seen. Many of you standing here own, operate, or work in a prosperous shop, inn, tavern, stable, or some other occupation. These are luxuries that are not available to all of our fellow residents of Icewind Dale. There is safety here, but we must stay vigilant in order to maintain it. So, it is with a heavy heart and a sense of duty to all of you that we will continue our offering to Ariel. She turns to the sheriff standing behind her, who, here, I'll show you him. And he steps forward and hands her an envelope. And she pulls out the already opened envelope and unfolds the paper inside and holds it up and sort of scans it across the crowd. The official lottery paper, stamped and signed by Sheriff Southwell himself. The opening of which was overseen by myself and several randomly selected townsfolk. The Moon's Lottery has selected Hadron Grigg. The crowd sort of murmurs, and some actually look to each other in surprise, almost shocked by the name. As the speaker of this town, and the person who upholds this law, I shall also be the one to enforce it. She looks back to Sheriff Southwell again, who hands her the torch in his hand. She bows her head, almost in like a short, silent prayer, and she walks towards the pyre where this man, Hadron, is tied, and she gently removes the black cowl from his head. Hadron Grigg, we admire your sacrifice and will honor it. Your courage and commitment to our city is immeasurable. Have you any final words? He lifts his head and looks across the gathering of people and says, I, Hadron Grigg, willingly accept this decision and give my life to help stave off the cold, so that the rest of you may live to see a day where the sun shines in the dale again. Please see that my wife and son are treated well. Gregon, Brielle, I love you both dearly, and may Amantar watch over you. And he looks back up to the speaker and nods, almost to accept his fate. The speaker nods back and solemnly places the torch to the bottom of the pyre, which has been covered in whale oil. Yes?
With charm person, can you make it to where someone doesn't feel pain and under their charm?
That's a good question.
Can I charm him into him thinking that it's just a nice, warm, comforting feeling surrounding him?
Are you trying to do this without anybody noticing?
Yes. I don't want him to be in pain if I can help it.
Make a sleight of hand check. Okay. You successfully cast your spell, and you see his eyes just sort of glaze over a little bit. And as that sort of happens, the fire builds quickly and soon overtakes his body. His silence is almost louder than what his screams would have been. And you hear just silence through the streets, the howling wind and the crackling of the fire. Moments go by, and the speaker Devessa, she does not look away from him for a moment, almost as if to honor the sacrifice that's being made. After probably 30, 45 seconds, she looks up to the new moon again and hands the torch back to the sheriff and descends the steps of the platform, followed closely by several militia. The sheriff looks at the flaming pyre for a moment, kind of lets out a sigh, and then follows suit. Most of the crowd starts to disperse, some actually standing a little closer to the fire, and they seem to be lingering, almost using the fire to just kind of warm themselves. You're muted, Jamie.
Looks like the rumors were just that. Rumors.
Fascinating. Who originated them and why?
A good question. Maybe we'll have some answers once we deliver this chewinga.
It pokes its head out just a little bit and looks down at you.
I think I've seen enough here. Everyone ready to move?
I would like to go to the pyre, just really quickly.
Okay.
I'll shuffle through and see, is there any wood that I can grab?
None that's not on fire. Or turn to ash or coal at this point.
We can continue on then.
Okay. As you're making your way through the crowd, who's leading the way, by the way?
I think Sin is, because she knows, she's the only person who actually knows where we're going.
Yep.
Okay. Sin, you notice as the crowd is sort of dispersing and you're making your way through that three kind of stocky figures bundled in cold weather garb kind of stumble towards you, almost like they're just completely gassed. And they look around, they look to your left and right, and then their eyes, at least the one in front, their eyes catch you, and then they look down at Wilzu, and then up at Sandy, and then over at Aramel. And this figure walks up to you, and all three of them kind of have snowshoes slung over their backs and ice picks fastened to their belts. Two of them have thick beards sticking out from their cold weather gear. The one in the front holds up a gloved hand and says, through a thick wool scarf in a raspy voice, "Well met! I'm a Hiruna, and these are my friends, Korax and Starn. She looks around. I know this is an awkward time to be introducing ourselves, but... She looks at the flaming pyre with the body just engulfed in flames. We really need help. And she looks around again. Truth be told, you look like the only group of capable individuals in this whole town.
Yes, we are. How can we help?
She says, perhaps it's best we we talk not in the freezing cold.
I look back up at Ravage and at his hair. Is the Chewinga just chilling?
It is, yeah. She notices this and says, if it's any we can meet you somewhere if you'd like.
The inn. I say to
Yeah, let's meet at the Northlook Inn.
Aye, that's the one at the north, by the north gate.
Right. The one run by Scrimsax.
Right. Well, okay. We can meet you there. You'll be there.
Yeah, give us about maybe, I don't know how long this is gonna take. Give us like 30 minutes, an hour. We'll be there.
well,
Yes.
She says, all right. And she looks back at the two stocky figures with her, who are just mostly completely covered from head to toe in scarves and kind of heavy jackets, and you just barely kind of see beards sticking out from underneath. She says, you heard them. They're gonna meet us at the Northlook. Let's go. And they kind of disappear off in the crowd and soon make their way to the Northlook.
As soon as they're gone, I want to just slightly jog in front of the group and just throw my arms out. Did you guys see that?
See what, Wellzu? The
Yes.
crazy people coming at us saying, help me. They don't
We
even
just
know
got
us.
started and we're already being recognized.
I guess that's a good thing. Yeah, okay.
Well, you have to remember, everybody knows who Sandy Ravage is.
Oh, that's true. Maybe they just knew you. Damn it.
Oh, yeah.
we are
Well-
we are a motley crew. We stand out, if you will.
I'll think positive and say that perhaps they judge us as the adventuring group I was hoping to become already. Let's continue to prove ourselves with whatever we've done, even though it doesn't seem to be anything quite yet, and deliver this Chewinga.
Winga.
After you, Sin. We're right behind you.
Perfect. I go onward.
Okay. You make your way, and it takes you only about another probably 10 minutes or so to get to the spot marked on your map, as notated by Danica.
Housekeeping.
Uno momento. Let me switch this over here. Where'd it go? What in the heck? There it is. So, you find yourself down the street from the house, and you can see light kind of pouring out through the window and the door of the home. Let me ask, Sandy, can you see anything at the moment?
I can see like a 5-foot ring around me.
Okay. You can't see.
I mean, I
any
can see
light
the
in the distance.
yeah. I can see the light from the window and everything like that in the lane.
Okay. So yes. So in the distance, you see the house. However, from where you're standing, you can actually see that it looks like the front door has been smashed in from the outside. And you can move as you would like.
Sucinda
Sin?
feels disheartened.
What's the holdup? Why do we stop?
I'm trying to move. Please hold.
Oh.
Looks like something happened.
Can you not move?
No, I can. I was just on the wrong tab.
Okay.
It's an ID10T error.
Sounds familiar.
Strangely familiar.
What is
Something
going on here?
something happened.
Oh, shit.
Hello?
Someone broke in.
I get my bow ready.
Danica?
So
Danica?
as you walk in, you see the body of a male half-elf lying on the floor next to the table.
Oh, wow. That's a murder. I'm pointing down at the body.
Yes.
Random
Yes,
Zero,
it
thank you
is.
for the gifted sub.
Oh,
What's
shit.
in
that's famous now.
tarnation?
I'll go up to the body and kneel next to it and start inspecting it. Does it look like he got cut, stabbed, suplexed?
You see
Uh,
an icy dagger stabbed
Ah,
directly
hell
through
no.
his heart.
This was one of the rumors I was going to tell you guys about. 2 people died to an icy dagger. And apparently, that's 3 now.
Does he look young, old?
He looks a little older.
So maybe Danica's father.
Can I grab the dagger and pull it out of him?
No,
yeah.
don't! You'll incriminate yourself.
try
Sid,
not.
we have no choice. We have to check everything.
You'll be okay. I mean, you have a glove. Put the glove on. Don't leave fingerprints.
Yeah,
Of
he's
course
already
we
got
are.
gloves on. Yeah.
It's cold as it's all out outside.
I just want to make sure, Aaron Hotchner might come and find your prints. And
It's like
I just
Criminal
hate
Minds.
I'd hate for you to get yourself into trouble.
So you pulling the dagger out?
Got the dagger. If I
When
can.
you pull it out, it melts in your hand.
What? It's on the floor now.
Well, great. None of us had a camera to take pictures of the crime scene. This is just terrible.
Could always dust for fingerprints.
Everybody make a perception check for me. Aramel?
Aramel!
Oh, was he not there? Aramel, will you make a perception check?
Well, he's
Nope.
Okay.
Oh, there he goes.
So, Sandy and Wilzu, you hear a noise, almost like like something was moving around in the closet in the wardrobe in the southeast corner of this room.
I pull my maul out.
Over here.
I heard
Is
it
there
as well.
anybody else in this home? We are Wes, here to deliver the chewinga. I'm getting closer to the wardrobe. We are friendly and helpful. Is there anybody? And then I put my ear up to the cup.
When you put your ear up, you hear what sounds like very faint, light sobbing coming from inside.
I'll take a step back from it. We mean no harm. Crying person currently hiding right in front of me in this cabinet.
Suddenly the noise just goes away, and then the wardrobe door opens slightly, and from inside, Sucinda, you see Danica, who had originally tasked you with finding the chewinga inside, and she says, "Please don't hurt me. What do you want?"
Daddy, it's me! What's happening?
She looks out beyond you and sees the body on the floor and just kind of starts sobbing again.
Danny, what happened? Do you want me to cover the body?
Maybe.
He says, it was about an hour ago. Just after dinner. And Dad, he came home. I'd heard he was supposed to be burned tonight, and he came home. So we didn't go to the lottery. We stayed here. And we were eating dinner. Wait, who are the rest of these people?
Oh, this is Was. That's the name for now. We don't know yet, but I thought it was kind of comical. No big deal. They're friends. They're friends. Friends, not foe.
She swings around and lets her feet and her legs kind of stick out of the wardrobe onto the floor, and she's just kind of sitting in there in between kind of some coats, and continues. We were eating, and there was a knock at the door. It startled us. We assumed everybody was at the lottery, and we asked who was there, and nobody responded. And then another heavier knock came, and my dad, Ven, told me to come in here and hide in the closet. And once I got in here, he heard my dad call out again, "Who is it?" And just after that, the door, it sounded like an explosion almost. It must have just come straight off the hinges. And I heard my dad say, "What's the meaning of this?" And there was a low voice, and it said, You cannot cheat death. You cannot cheat Ariel." And my dad, he was pleading that there was already a sacrifice, that there was no, that Ariel had her sacrifice. And the voice just said that it wasn't his decision to figure out who lives and dies. And Dad said that he wasn't the one who decided who died, and asked what he wanted. And the voice just said that his fate had been decided, and there's no changing it, and there's no amount of money that could have gotten him out of it, and that Ariel will not be cheated out of her true sacrifice. And then I heard a scuffle, and then silence, and then footsteps leaving. I've been hiding in here ever since.
Danica, may I ask you a question? Una pregunta, por favor. A question, please.
Yes?
So, did you and your father think, before you stayed in, that your dad would be sacrificed? Is that correct?
I heard the rumor, but again,
So you
it's
decided
just
to
rumors.
stay in?
He came home. I mean, wouldn't you if you thought you were gonna be burnt at the stake?
Yes, okay.
We should definitely report this to the sheriff.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely we need to.
Did it sound like one person? Did you hear a lot of footsteps?
Just one set is all I could tell, but there was so much
Was it a
happening.
man or woman talking?
I can only assume by the deepness. It was a man. It had to be a man.
Sound like an older man or a younger man? Squeaky voice, not squeaky voice.
It definitely wasn't squeaky.
Okay.
But his age, I don't know.
I've done my fair share of reading, and this absolutely sounds like some cult stuff.
Cult stuff? What?
There's already a sacrifice happening, but apparently there's some group that makes these decisions themselves, or some some underground hidden thing to where they've already decided who must die, pick them in the town, and kill them. Which seems to be the case here, because we just saw a man burn at the town center.
Do you think that they're working for the Frost Maiden?
Working for the Frost Maiden? I don't know. I have no idea. But clearly there's another group at work here, as there's already been 2 other murders. This exceeds mischief. At any rate, are you going to be all right? I'm not sure you should stay here. Although, I doubt the killer would come back. They seem to have gotten what they wanted.
She looks over at her father again, laying on the floor. Sort of, kind of fights back tears a little bit. And she says, I suppose I'll be okay. Perhaps you could ask, She kind of seems to get lost in her thoughts for a moment. And says, my father, he was a fisherman. He fished up knucklehead trout and sold them. That's how we afford to live here. He, though, has been visiting, do you know Belron? The glass worker?
Yeah, we just paid a visit to him a few hours ago.
He's spent a lot of time with them lately. He's been having kind of custom lures and things like that made for his fishing poles, but he's been spending more and more time with them lately, which I thought was strange, but I just figured he'd made a new friend, which is probably all it is. But he would get the lure and he would travel to Targos and fish a few times a month and bring home the trout. Maybe Belron might know something.
We'll definitely inquire on this.
At this point, let me see. Let me make a roll here real quick. At this point, she looks at you, Sandy, and notices the Chwinga sticking its head out of your hair. And her eyes go wide for a moment. And she wipes the tears from her face. And she stands up out of the wardrobe and walks over to you and leans in. And says, "Is that what I think it is?" And looks over to you, Sin.
Of course it is. I said that I would get it for you, Danny.
A real Chwinga. You found one.
Yes, he's kind of cute, is he? I mean, he may be a he may be a she. It is kind of cute, is it not?
And she leans in close, and the Chwinga seems to almost mirror her exact reaction. So as she leans in, it leans in, and then she leans in, and then it leans in. And she gently puts her hand out, and the Chwinga hops out of your hair and onto her hand. And you see it sort of reach out and cast something with its hands. And it seems to calm Danica down. And she takes it in her hands and looks at it and pauses. And then looks at you all and says, "Thank you. I didn't really expect for you to find one, especially so quickly." She kind of puts her hand up to her shoulder, and the Chwinga hops on her shoulder now. And the Chwinga looks at all of you and makes another set of motions with its hands towards you. And you all feel kind of a sense of calm about you. And Danica reaches in her pocket and pulls out a small cloth bag and walks over to you, Sin, and hands it to you. And as she does, it kind of jingles. She says, "Here's the coin that I promised you. And you can keep the lantern. It should be able to track any kind of elemental. It might come in handy later on, maybe not, or you could sell it. It's up to you, but I appreciate it. I guess this awful day has some sort of merit to it, and when Dazan gets back from whatever it is he's doing in East Haven, then perhaps we can make some headway on this whole never-ending winter thing."
Yes.
What's so special about these?
She turns to you, Aramel, and says, "That's what we intend to find out. They have some sort of special magic to them, and I'm not sure yet, but perhaps it could be used to help quell the weather, maybe. I don't know. I have a ton of work to do ahead of me, I guess, and I need to get the town guard as well, or what's happened here."
Right.
And she looks to the chewinga, and it kind of goes into her hair and says, "Lucinda, I greatly appreciate it, and I do hope that our paths cross again. And if I find anything out from my research, you will be the first. Well, not counting Dazan, you'll be the first to know if I can reach word to you."
Thank you, Danny. Can we do anything with your father? You okay?
I believe we should leave him as he is, and let the authorities take it from here, maybe.
Yes, okay.
We'll talk to the sheriff eventually as well, since this goes hand in hand with the other murders that have happened. Once they come, make sure to say it was an ice dagger stuck inside of him. As you can see, it's wet next to him now. When I pulled it out, it melted. But an ice dagger, it's critical. You tell them this.
I will. I hope they believe me. I assume they will, since the other murders.
We'll affirm it with the sheriff as well, so that way you'll have 4 key witnesses. But we'll leave you to it then. We have a couple other orders of business to take care of, although this certainly trumps most of it. Hopefully the rest isn't like this.
You have my thanks. I didn't get your names.
Oh, Wilzu Snapplegap. Pleasure.
Sandy Ravage, you should already know me.
Oh dear. I apologize, I don't, but I certainly do now.
You do.
I do. She looks to you, Aramel.
Aramel.
It's a pleasure. I do hope that we see each other again.
Stay safe, Danny.
You as well. And stay warm. Perhaps, visit the shop and get yourself something with the gold. She looks over to you, Sucinda, to help keep you warm.
Yes, we will stop by. Thank you so much, Danny. Please, let us know if you need anything. We are here for you.
She nods and she turns and walks to the door at the right eastern side of the room and walks through it. And when she does, you briefly see a room with a bed and a table in it. And shortly after, you just kind of hear silence.
Okay, time to go.
Mm-hmm.
I want to really quickly grab 15 gold out of my pouch
Okay.
and have it in my hands and pocket the rest of my pouch. Okay, Aramil. Here's
Yes.
5 gold for you, as promised.
Thank you.
Sandy, 5 gold, please. Thank you so much. Here you
Oh,
go.
thank
Please
you.
take. Willazoo, 5 gold for you.
Our first reward.
Enjoy the riches.
Right. Well, this took a exceptionally dark turn, but the Northlook Inn. That's our next destination. We have some
Yeah.
strangers to meet and some glass to talk about.
Yes.
And then back to Belron.
All right, and you make your way back towards the Northlook Inn, and that's where we're going to end our session for tonight. The conclusion of session 1.
Do we make it as far as you think we would?
That's pretty much where I expected you all to get to. So
Nice.
I prepared a little bit further ahead just in case. But that was good. I enjoyed that. I thought that went well. How do you guys feel?
I think it went well.
Yes.
I like this. I like going around the town, and eventually I know we're gonna get to the point where it's gonna. I'm getting that Final Fantasy vibe, like we're in Midgard doing all the stuff. We exit the town, shit gets extra real, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm digging it right now.
Well, one thing that will definitely help you is since you completed that first mission there, you all will level up to level 2 for next session.
Who did say just being detectives wasn't worth it, man? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. You don't need to kill nothing, just be smart.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, no, I was nervous going into it, but that went really well. I can tell you I've read a lot through this book already, and there is some crazy shit in store for you later on, and some scary shit, and then also some funny shit. Just, some shit in general. So,
My health is always going to be low, goddamn.
oh my god, did you roll a 1?
My new max health is now 9.
Oh no. Man taking a risk. Taking that roll.
It's worth it. I'll do it. Whatever. I'm game.
Oh, the ones are rolling in, dude.
Stay weak with me, boy.
All right, so does anybody have anything they want to say before we cut it off for the evening?
I look very forward to spending my time with these characters for the next year or more. I like our group a lot.
This is some long ass sessions or some long ass campaigns we get ourselves into. But this is the thickest adventure. I mean, with like 8 C's that I've seen in quite some time. I mean, it might be the fattest adventure that they put out. So there's plenty of stuff to dig into here. With that, I guess that's what we're gonna call it for tonight. So thank you everybody for joining us on our first session of Icewind Dale: Rime of the Frost Maiden. This is gonna be our new long-term campaign. So I hope you enjoyed it. Like the characters, like the setting. I'm really excited about it. Hopefully I did a good job conveying kind of the atmosphere that we're in and everything. We really appreciate the support and the subscriptions that came in tonight. We can't thank you enough for that. It helps us kind of keep this whole train going. And I think that's all I've got for tonight. So we're going to cut it here. We'll be back on Monday with some Shadows of the Demon Lord, which point me and Willzoo will swap chairs, and then he'll try to make me sweat, which he normally does.
They're in the fighting gauntlet right now. Just huge battle after huge battle with no recovery.
Yep, so if you enjoy tabletop type stuff and want some more of it, come back and see us Monday. We always appreciate a good crowd. So thank you, everybody. We will see you on Monday. Have a great night. And that's it. Bye.
Bye bye. Bye bye.
Goodbye.